Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm pretty excited because last week I put out my flat earth theory video and it went over pretty well. I had more comments than I've ever had before, which is pretty exciting, and I gained some subscribers from that video. So I wanted to do something similar but completely opposite of last week's video. So today I'm going to be talking about the hollow earth theory, or the inner earth theory. But before we get into this video, if you could give me a like and subscribe if you have not already, that would mean the world to me. Alright, so let's start this theory. So it actually started 300 years ago in 1692 by the guy of the name Edmund Halley. He was, what I could find, the first person to propose that the earth was hollow. So Edmund had come to this conclusion because of what Isaac Newton had researched. Isaac Newton had accomplished regarding the relative masses and gravitational interactions of the Earth with the Moon. And so Edwin had announced that the Earth is likely a shell of hollow spheres with a molten luminous core that shines light upon the inner hollows of these spaces. And then he goes on to say that there is most likely an atmosphere and that it could sustain life there. And again, going off of Newton's work, he believed that the shells of the Earth are thinner at the North and South poles, and this would cause light to diffuse and scatter out, causing auroral displays. Another noteworthy person to mention who believed in this theory is John Cleave Sims. He lived from 1780 to 1829. He brought his own theory about the hollow earth. He thought there was actual holes at the poles, and he wanted to get people together for an expedition to go up there and prove that there is holes and that there is a hollow earth. He was going to go up there fully expecting there to be animals and humans and life within the earth. Back in the day, though, he was ridiculed for thinking this. He was called things like Sim's hole or the Simmy hole, suggesting that the hole was his head. And unfortunately, because of this, he never got his funding and he wasn't able to go up there before he died. A little bit more recently, in 1947, this person is pretty well known. You may have heard about him before, Admiral Richard B. Byrd.
Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole.
So Richard has been to both the North and South Pole. When he went up to the North Pole, he logged his flight and it was very interesting. For the first couple of hours of his flight, it was pretty much what you would think North Pole would be, just covered with ice and snow. But eventually he said he saw mountains in the distance, and then once he got over the mountains, he wrote, "We are crossing over the small mountain range and still proceeding northward as best as can be ascertained. Beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with a small river or stream running through the center portion. There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To the port side are great forests growing on the mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth." So if this were happening to me, I would be pretty concerned too. It's very interesting. 30 minutes later, he wrote, "Encountering more rolling green hills now. The external temperature indicator reads 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Continuing on our heading now. Navigation instruments seem normal now. I'm puzzled over their actions. Attempt to contact base camp. Radio is not functioning." After this, he writes that he sees a flying ship of some sort, and this person tries to speak to him through the radio. He writes, "Our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what perhaps is a slight Nordic or Germanic accent. The message is, 'Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral, you are in good hands. I note the engines of our plane have stopped running. The aircraft is under some kind of control and is now turning itself. The controls are useless.'" So if this were me, I would definitely be freaking out at this point. So once Richard lands, he says that these tall men with blonde hair come and approach him, and they take him to his place. And one of them says that they let him in because he's a noble character and well known on the surface world. He writes again, "Surface world," I half gasp under my breath. "Yes," the master replies with a smile. "You are in the domain of the Ariani, the inner world of the earth. We shall not long delay your mission, and you will be safely escorted back to the surface world and distance beyond. But now, Admiral, I shall tell you why you have been summoned here." So he goes on a little bit more about what he saw there. I will link the page in which I got my information from down below if you want to read for yourself. It's pretty long, but very interesting. So obviously this is not proven. You have to take his word on this. Let me know if you believe him. It's definitely a very interesting story. Very hard to believe, but let me know what you think. And this brings us to today, which the Hollow Earth theory is actually still very prevalent today. People believe that NASA is hiding something at the poles.
And as I said, this has been a long-standing myth with no proof for years, up until 1968, when pictures were taken by a satellite orbiting Earth that clearly showed a massive hole located at Earth's North Pole. That image you're seeing here, which was actually published in a book that you can't even find today. And you're seeing the original scans from that book showing this massive hole at the top of the Earth. It's one of the only photos that we have showing this massive hole at the top of our planet. And I mean, look at this thing. We have this odd indentation at the top of Antarctica, right in the center, with what looks like some swirling cloud cover. And it's one of the most devastating images supporting the Hollow Earth theory.
And that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Do you believe in the Hollow Earth theory? Do you believe in the Flat Earth theory? Please let me know. I'd be very interested. If you have subscribed to me for my vlogs, don't worry. Next weekend will be a vlog. It will be a really exciting vlog. At least for me, it'll be really exciting. I'm thinking that next weekend I will have to post my video on Monday just because I'm going to be away. So stick around for that, and I will see you guys next Monday. Bye, guys.